Hello and welcome to Greetingstar. Today I have a celebration card for you. This one's a happy birthday, but you could use it for any kind of celebration or congratulations card. And I'm doing a watercolor card. It's an easy card. I'm using these Gonzai Tanbai watercolors by Kuretake, and which I purchased on Amazon. And I'm just going to be painting some circles on my watercolor paper here. And it's an easy card. It's a fun card. And once I'm done doing the circles, I'm going to show you a technique that gives a little more movement and bounce, if you will, to the card that I think you'll enjoy. So what I'm doing is just kind of spacing these randomly on my page, and I'm doing 3 of each color. Towards the end I will do more of one color just to fill in the gaps, but right now I'm just doing 3 of each color, and I'm keeping the circles approximately the same size. For variation, you definitely could change the sizes of the circles. It's entirely up to you in your creative process what you want to do with it, but I just decided to go ahead and keep them all about the same size. And I just really love watercolor. I think it's just so much fun to see what the water does on the page. And I don't have any special training in watercolor or anything. I just love using the medium. It's so much fun to play with. So you can see here that with this set that I have, it looks like it has about 3 or 4 different versions of each shades or tones of each color. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just using about 3 or 4 different shades of each color, except for the yellow here, of course, which I think really brightens up the card. And it's kind of fun too, because if you're using all of these colors, and you don't have to worry about the color scheme or anything like that. So that's kind of nice not to have to worry about that, especially if you're not very experienced with color or color theory or things like that. If you're not, I would recommend definitely getting a color wheel so that you can learn about that and learn about the different kinds of color schemes that artists use. And if you're not interested in that, then I would suggest just looking at nature and seeing the colors that the Lord puts together. They're beautiful. And that could be flowers, that could be landscapes, that could be fruit. I know one of my favorite color schemes is I love cantaloupe and blueberry, so I love the beautiful soft orange with the tan color of the rind and then the blue. I think those 3 colors work very well together. So look at nature for any kind of inspiration for color to use, or even the patterns on your clothes and things like that. Those are great ideas too. Sometimes the colors and patterns on your clothes can get, or fabrics, draperies, pillows, anything can inspire. Even a shower curtain can inspire you and get your creative juices flowing. Isn't that a beautiful color? I just love that rose madder from that set. It's so pretty. Just beautiful, I think. Okay, I'm almost done here. I just got to fill in the blanks. I'm deciding what color to use. I didn't want to use green. I wanted to keep, this card with just all the other colors. I didn't want to use the green for some reason, so I tried to stick with other colors. And once I'm finished with these circles here, I'm going to go ahead and let this card dry. And in case I didn't mention it earlier, this is a wet on dry. So I did not put any water on my paper. I simply added the wet watercolor to the dry paper. And that's an important thing to note, because there are a lot of watercolor techniques where you add the wet paint onto a wet surface. So I thought I should probably mention that because I forgot to do so. So now what I'm doing is I'm adding these little lines, and I'm just putting them at different locations around each circle, sometimes on the top, sometimes on the bottom. And that just gives more movement or bounce to the card. Now, you saw here that I kind of put a big blob down. That's because I had too much paint on my brush, and also the tip of this brush is kind of not very even, so I'm not getting really thin lines, but that's okay because it still looks really good. But what I did to get rid of that paint on the paper was I just dried my brush and tried to the brush absorb the leftover paint on the page, and then I used a little bit of water to dilute that color there, so it's not as noticeable. And so once I'm finished adding these lines, these little curved lines around each one of these circles, I'm going to let it dry, and then I'll add my my greeting to the, or is it a sentiment? Greeting or sentiment? I always use those two interchangeably, and one is for the inside of the card and one is for the outside of the card, and I can never keep them straight. Who cares, right? Anyway, like I said, this is a really fun card. I think it's visually appealing and a lot of fun. You could, depending on who the card is for, you can change the color scheme and, make it for whichever occasion you want. If you wanted it to be a little more, instead of a little, this is very bright and colorful, so it's great for kids or adults alike. But if you wanted to be a little more sophisticated, maybe you want to do a little bit more monochromatic, or you could even overlap the circles and do kind of like a bokeh effect. So now I'm using my Uniball gel pen. This is in silver color, and that's just to add that little hint of light to this card, to give it the appearance that light is striking these and they have a little bit of a glow to them. So now that it's dry, I'm going to take this pen. This is the Kelly Creates. She teaches brush lettering, and this is the medium point pen, and I'm just going to write the word happy birthday. Now, this is the second time I made this card. And it's funny because usually when I make a card, sometimes I need to just make a quick card, and then I want to come back and record it for film. And it's interesting the variation that I get each time I do a card, because I'm not a robot. I'm not doing the exact same thing. And on the first card that I made, I used a larger brush pen, and which I like better than this medium point, just because the background's so busy. But what I am going to do to help remedy that is outline every letter on the outside and the inside. I'm not trying to create a shadow. I'm just trying to create a barrier between the busy background and the text, so that the text will stand out a little bit more than what it does on its own. So I'm just going around and outlining the outside, and then I'll go and do the inside of the letters too, where the closed spaces are, as best I can. And I think that does help it stand out a little bit more, but you can make up your own mind how you want to do it. Again, I would recommend using a large brush pen to write these words. Or if you don't like hand lettering, you can certainly use a die cut to cut out the words happy birthday, or your cutting machine like a Cricut or a Cameo, whatever you might have to do that. Again, or you could just put a strip of paper across the middle and, stamp the words happy birthday. It's up to you. Or any words. You could use congratulations. You could use just for any kind of a celebration card. This makes a great celebration card because they kind of look like balloons in a way. So that's kind of fun. So I hope you'll try this card. I enjoyed making it. I really love the watercolor, as I said before. So much fun to play with and to see the effect that you get once it's all dry. And adding those little details with the silver pen to highlight each circle, I think, is really, really key. And I love the movement that you get from the lines underneath each circle. Makes it look like the balloons are kind of floating about, bouncing off of each other or something like that. So that is my card today. Now I still have to mat it on a card base, and I would recommend using a heavyweight card base for that, such as the Neenah Solar White 150 pound. So you can see here both of the cards. The original one I made is the smaller one on the bottom, and you can see here that this is the Kelly Creates medium point pen that I used to write happy birthday on the card. And then this one I used purple because my black brush one is kind of fraying a bit, so that's why I used the purple. But I kind of like that purple. I think that the purples kind of makes the card look a little more unique and interesting. I don't know. I wonder, leave your comment down below and tell me what you like best, the black or the purple, and if you like the large brush or the smaller brush. They look almost about the same size, but oh no, that's the large one. The large one is just like that one. Why didn't I think to use that? I don't know. Anyway, I think that it both looks good. I like both of them, but that one definitely, the text stands out much better. So you make your own decision. So thanks for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want more card ideas, you can visit my blog at greetingstar.org. And also I've written an ebook. You can get it on amazon.com/author/greetingstar. You can see the contents here. There's lots of different projects and techniques that will help you do a lot more with your stamping and your card making. So go on over there and check it out and have a wonderful day. And if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.